Hi, Tama. Today was today was a necessary day. Um, I think this week I have realized that no matter how bad a day is, it plays such an essential role to a much bigger picture. So today I won't really tell you, I won't really put my business out there, but today I had actually planned to, wake up early to clean the house, do a bit of work, send out some applications for my master's degree and all those things. But I had a dream yesterday, and waking up, I woke up with like a really dull headache, which on top of that also was, it was because I mean, you saw me eating cereal yesterday, and I don't do too well with artificial sugars. And I went to bed dehydrated. Like, I think yesterday I only drank 400 liters, not 400, but pretty much maybe half a liter of water and some milk. Yeah. So, and I took in a lot of sugar. Well, most of it was natural because I munch on fruits a lot, but the sugar that I took in before going to bed was the cereal. So I woke up quite dehydrated, had a dull headache, and then had this nasty dream. And it felt like I had to fight my way out of it so that, in a way, I could be able to wake up feeling a little more victorious than feeling defeated in a way. So, yeah, I had that dream, and honestly, in a way, I saw God's hand in it because there have been some things that I've been struggling with. Um, and it felt like God was just telling me, you feel this way, or these things happen because you kind of entertain them. You accommodate these things, that's why they sit with you. So if you told those things that you don't want, if you don't want to accommodate those things, you have to announce it that you don't want to accommodate those things. And it's what I did in the dream, because there was something that happened before the dream, and then I don't know where I was, but it felt like I was at a waiting room. I was sick or something, whatever happened, but it felt like I was at a waiting room. And then there were these two ladies that came and sat with me, and we're doing a bit of chit chat here and there, and their presence just felt heavy in a sense. Like, I really didn't understand why I was having conversations with them. Anyway, after I done told them that, I don't need you here, they disappeared. I don't know what I was doing at the waiting room, but yeah, there were a number of things that happened between me kind of telling each and every one of those things to buzz off. So that's how I kind of like woke up feeling a bit more, victorious, because most of the times when I have nasty dreams. It's like I wake up feeling defeated. And Jojo told me that, like every time you have these dreams, like something just kind of happens. So, anyway, uh, today because I had all these plans um, of how I was gonna spend my day. First thing, I wanted to clean the house, but there was still no running water. So that went off, off the to-do list because that's pretty much impossible. And then I couldn't shower. I couldn't like start my day properly. And then I had this bad headache. So I had to stay in bed a little longer. And then, of course, I forgot to top up drinking water. So there was no drinking water in the house. So I decided to just munch on more food, which meant more sugar. Anyway, I lazied my way around the day. And then I kind of got myself into something which I also saw God pulling me out of it, because there are a lot of negotiations happening in my head, and anyway, I was talking to Chifu today. I told her about it. Also, I forgot to tell her about the dream, but I need to tell Jojo about the dream. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know what I was about to say. But anyway, I just got done, uploading my routine on IG. And then before that, I was doing my Bible study. I was reading First Timothy, not first, but Second Timothy 3, verse 4 to 5, which talks about, in the last days, from like 1 to 4, it talks about in the last days, men will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boasters, slanderers, and all these things. And then in verse 4, it actually talks about that men will love pleasure rather than be lovers of God. Men will be lovers of pleasure rather than be lovers of God, having the form/appearance, in other words, of godliness, yet denying its power. So pretty much if you were to like think about what godliness is, it's, or if I am to say the power of godliness is like the transformative power of the Holy Spirit to like change a person, like to genuinely change a person. So when you think about that, and how Paul talks about all these characteristics that men will have in the last days, all of this is actually wrapped up in the appearance of godliness. So also when one has the appearance of godliness, it is impossible to love God, because you pleasure in all these other things, which I kind of like realized that all those things that Paul talks about, like the pride, the love of money, and all of those things, are actually wrapped up in the 3 temptations from 1 John 2 verse 16, which talks about the lust of the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pleasure of Let me go back to that. Which talks about the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. So all these things that happen to people in the last days are under these three temptations. And it was just like, you know, it is like so scary to I mean, I had this appearance before until last year. Jackie Hill Perry, I listened to Jackie Hill Perry's sermon on But As For You. And man, I felt convicted about, that sermon did something to me. And also not to excuse it, I was in the pits and I was struggling I was struggling in all the ways possible. Like, I was in the pits. I was deep in it. And the thing is that when you have a form of godliness, you're blinded to it because you kind of think that, oh, just because you don't do it excessively, then you're good. That is the deception of it. People who have the form of godliness, most of them don't even know that they have the form of godliness. They just walk around and and I saw it in my own life really. And I continuously keep on seeing it in my own life because I'm still working towards, my salvation, and I'm being sanctified as days go by. But it is a scary place to be in, where you love pleasure more than you love God. And you're just wearing this form of godliness, yet you don't even believe that God can that you don't even believe that God is God. He is who he is. He is good, faithful, and kind, and merciful. So that was the highlight of my day. I think yesterday's highlight that I forgot to mention, I think on my 50th day of the challenge, I forgot to say what I'm really grateful for about the challenge. Like, 2 Timothy 3 verse, the remaining verses of chapter 3, they talk about, the word has got a transformative power that is capable of teaching, rebuking, and, just transforming you. And I think today is day 53, and all the Bible studies that I've done, I think there is an evidence of change in my own life, which I'm so grateful for. Like, I'm beginning to see myself as the person that I am, no trying to make the picture look good in a way and all that. So I just thought of sharing that. And yeah, I'm so grateful for how, it felt like I squandered the day, but God still kinda, not even kinda, but God still made something out of it. Like, yeah, today was necessary. Today was necessary. It was low key, but very, very necessary. And I am so grateful for it. Okay, now I'm gonna go. I need to respond to JoJo's messages. I also need to send Karen a voice note. And I need to. I don't know if I should bother G4 again, but I'm gonna try. Anyway, I love you. Bye.